Today's presenter, myself, Rahul. I'm the product manager for Invicti Solutions in Bulwark Distribution. Along with us, we have Glyn, who is the regional lead EMEA from Invicti. Today's agenda will be just introduction on Bulwark value-added distribution for Invicti. Today, we'll be discussing on modern web application security and the growing attack surface and the benefits of web application scanner to your customers, the benefits of SAST, DAST, IAST, and SEA. Then we will be going through an Invicti overview, and we'll be having Invicti solutions, the partner opportunity, and Invicti partner program, followed by a question and answer session. Bulwark is an award-winning specialized cybersecurity value-added distribution in the region. We started our operations in 1999. We have successfully celebrated our 20 years of excellence in the region recently. We are a privately held and profitable organization since the first year. We also represent 22 plus vendors and their portfolio. We operate in GCC as well as in India. We have currently 500 plus partners across the region. We have partnered with Invicti since 2017. We have a dedicated sales, marketing, and technical team. We also have certified technical engineers to carry over the demos and POCs for the Invicti solution. Now I hand it over to Mr. Glyn to take it forward. Over to you, Glyn.
Thank you very much, Rahul, and thank you very much for hosting this. And it's great to be partners with Bulwark throughout the region for a number of years now. So thank you all for joining today. I hope everyone is well and keeping safe. To introduce and further to what Rahul said, my name is Glyn. I'm the regional lead for the Middle East and Africa for Invicti. Invicti is a combination of two products which you may know, which is Acunetix and Netsparker. Joining me today, we have our channel SE champion and domain expert, Ali Mawani. Ali's here to answer any slightly more technical questions than I can cope with. It's not a technical session, but there will be opportunity to have a more technical conversation towards the end of the webinar, and also to arrange other sessions where you can deep dive into that technical criteria. If you've not dealt with Invicti before, we actually have quite an extensive team for the region that covers a distribution team, that covers our sales team, both enterprise and commercial. We have our enablement team, our customer success, and our channel marketing. So there's a whole host of support and resources that are available for the Middle East and Africa region. Okay, so what I'd like to do today is I want to touch a little bit about on the what. The what is the increase in the attack surface area around web application security and about API security. I also want to touch on the sort of why now. Why is it relevant now more than ever before? And go a little bit into what is application security testing. There's a few flavors of application security testing out there. And I just want to give you a bit of a customer view on what they are, so we know what we're talking about when we talk to our customers. Then I'll go on to why Invicti. So out of all the application security testings, why should it be Invicti that customers choose and have chosen, and why you should choose them to partner to develop business both in your organization, but also be that trusted advisor in your customer client base. And then following that, we've gone into why Invicti, and we'll go through some of the differences and how we approach the market and what makes us a market leader. We'll then have a look at the partner opportunity and see why it's a really relevant technology for you to take to the market, and why Invicti is a great partner to do that with. And then we'll look at some next actions, how do we move forward, and also a little bit of the next steps going ahead. So you may have heard of Netsparker, and you may have heard of Acunetix, and a few years ago they came together under what's known as the Invicti umbrella. So there is crossover in the two products, as those who know about Invicti will be aware of, but there's also some differences as well. So ideally, we're looking at reducing the attack surface, because the attack surface will always be the same size. We're trying to understand and mitigate the vulnerabilities in that attack surface itself. It's more and more prevalent at the moment. You've seen recent news, you've seen horror stories, you've seen big numbers about what really can happen. And the big numbers you see are all pretty much tangible. But there's a lot of intangible damage as well, especially in the case of reputational. We all know how much it costs to gain a client from your customer perspective, and we all know how easy it is to lose them. So reputational damage is a big concern, especially in this region. We know of some international and global instances and attacking and hackers seems to be on the increase. In fact, what is this? Just a few days ago, Ukraine as a government was subject to quite a massive attack, apparently by the Russians, but no one can say anything. And that's real life. And a little while ago, there was the Log4j vulnerability that really affected a hell of a lot of applications out there, and it is vulnerable. So that was globally, and even if we look locally, the latest threat intelligence report states that basically everyone's under constant attack. You know, the finance sector, 407 attacks per week. So that is quite extensive. And it's everybody trying to establish where the cracks are in your outward-facing web applications. So this is prevalent, this is real, and it's happening. And because of that, our customers are spending more and more on AppSec. But the breaches are also increasing as well. So it seems as the malicious guys are outdoing the corporate guys. So it's relevant to make application security and web application security part of your entire security strategy. We know that a lot of your customers will have identified their key and critical applications, and they will have them pretty much, we hope, they would be on top of that. But there's a whole host of exposed applications. There's blind spots within a customer's web assets and attack surface that they're not aware of. And the only time they are aware of them is when there's an attack. We spoke globally, but I don't know if many of you, we're one of the best kept secrets in the Middle East. So I don't need to go through every single one of these organizations on here. You'll recognize the logo, you'll know the customers. So these are existing Middle East Acunetix customers. Our largest customer in the region is the National Cybersecurity Authority of Saudi. And when you think about what they do and who they are, that's a real testament to the power and protection that Invicti can provide. So, application security testing, AST. Let's look at this. Now, I put this together because there'll be some people on this webinar that doesn't really know and technically in depth in terms of AST. So it's great to give a bit of an overview in layman's terms, as we say, on the different flavors and varieties of application security testing. Most of you may be aware of SAST. SAST has been around for quite a while now. This is where you're looking at vulnerabilities in code, predominantly in the development cycle and actually in the software build. Now that's great, but that's theory. That doesn't actually look at vulnerabilities in real life. You have a look at DAST, Dynamic Application Security. So Invicti and Acunetix, Netsparker were the pioneers of DAST, and this is where we safely act as hackers. We look and exploit for vulnerabilities in any asset, API, website that is available. We inject non-malicious code. We show you what we've injected, how we've injected it, where we've injected it, and we've given you proof of exploit. And we also do proof-based scanning. Interactive AST is the latest kid on the block, shall we say. So it's more reactive. It does look at code analysis, but it looks at it in a real life perspective. And there's a few flavors of AST, which is passive, active, and true. So passive is just looking at it from a code perspective. Active is where you have IAST and DAST, but they generally seem to be separate schemas and separate UIs and separate commodities. And then we look at true IAST, which is IAST talking to DAST, which is where Invicti are, again, the market leaders and the only ones in the market that can do that. Again, initially there's an additional area of SCAR, software composition analysis, where open source is readily available, and a lot of people use that in their code base. But that presents risks and compliance issues. So we can also analyze the freeware and open source elements within anybody's code. I spoke a little bit about IAST, so I wanted to go into just the differences a little bit more, and I'm happy. By the way, this is going to be recorded, so you can review this at any particular time, and if you do have questions, we can ask at the end of the section, or you can type them into the question bar, and we'll get to those at the end of the session. So as we can see, SAST is on the market, it's been around a while, and DAST and IAST. Now, there's nothing to stop an organization utilizing all three technologies for a really comprehensive application security testing strategy. But what we tend to find is organizations will predominantly have SAST and say, why do I need DAST? In fact, the other day, I was asked by a partner, if I could only have one, SAST or DAST, which one should I have if I was a customer? And I said, well, SAST is great, but SAST is theoretical. DAST is how a malicious hacker attacks. So we would rather show you the real life vulnerabilities in your attack surface area than sort of try and guess what they are. So if you're going to have one, start with DAST, because that is real life. And then you can bring IAST into it and roll back to SAST within the application development lifecycle. So it was a really relevant question, and we've been asked it before, so it's nice to know. And this is why the Acunetix and Netsparker IAST, Invicti IAST, is true IAST. So as you can see at the bottom, it is actually IAST and DAST working together. It's IAST saying, hey, I think there's something a bit funny here. It then sends that to DAST and says, DAST, hey DAST, can you try this out? Is it something funny? Is it a vulnerability? And can you prove it? And so by talking together, it provides a real, complete, comprehensive barrier to minimize those vulnerabilities. So as we see, not only are we looking at vulnerabilities, but we're looking to do something called shift left, where we try and automate where we can. So we look at all automation where it's feasible and it's possible and it's right. Some organizations don't want any automation and they want everything to be manual. And some organizations want full automation on a low touch. And you'll have some in the middle. Well, with Invicti, you can apply as much automation as you require for your own requirements across all stakeholders, all times continuously, and all environments. So one of the differences in application security and, for example, pen testing is generally a one-off service where you go and you do your test and you find some vulnerabilities and you fix them. But the next day, you may have other vulnerabilities that are new. So the best way around it is continuous security testing. So what do we do as a technology? Well, first of all, we discover. I recently did an exercise for an organization based in the UAE, where we asked them how many sort of targets, as we call them, how many assets do they have that are potentially they want to secure, and they said 5. I said, okay, well let's do a little exercise. Let's run and let's do a discovery exercise for you. And it came back they had 197 applications and vulnerability attack surfaces that they were not aware of. Now, a lot of organizations will have marketing departments spinning up landing pages. You'll have other departments. You'll have legacy applications, legacy APIs that no one knows about and is forgotten by previous teams. So what we do with it is our technology. First of all, we tell the customer exactly what they have out there. Some of those applications they will retire. Some of them they will keep on the back burner, and some of them they will prioritize in terms of key critical and secondary and protect likewise. So we discover firstly, then we detect and we validate that. So we prove and we detect and we prove where the vulnerabilities are and how it's a vulnerability. Then we show you how to fix that. Once it's fixed, we scan it again to make sure it is fixed. And then by doing that, we're closing the loop, but we're continuously discovering, detecting, remediating, and securing. Continuously doing this. And as you know, Continual is just all the time, so it's a continual protection. So by mapping, by detecting, and detecting is quite an interesting one actually, because there are other scanners out there. We're not the only people that do it. We're the best, but we're not the only. So detection is really quite important, because in detection there's true positives and there's false positives, and there's false negatives as well. The worst one out of that, as funny as it may seem, is false positives. And the reason is the scanner is saying that you've got a vulnerability. So that goes off to your team to fix. And the team can't fix it because there isn't one. So it's false positive. So they go back to the scanner and the scanning team and go, no, there's nothing there. And this goes around in a circle. And it wastes a lot of time. What we do say is between an actual positive and a false positive, a real issue can be fixed in a day, where a false positive can take up to 15 days and multiple teams. And if you add up the dollars value or the dirhams value or the real value or wherever you're from, then the cost between the two is enormous. And if you take that and extrapolate that across all your applications in an enterprise across a year, it turns into thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's before any breach. So Invicti have the best proof and the only proof-based scan and the highest false positive or the lowest false positives within the market. Again, it's secure, it's trusted, and it saves time, money, and ensures that the team and your customer is on track through remediation and continuous. With all things, it's an enterprise-wide product, which means, so enterprise, when people ask me about enterprise, they ask, what does that mean from an Invicti perspective? Well, to me, it means a few things. One, it can scale. So it can scale to unlimited number of applications, APIs, and other things. Two, you can automate. You can automate as much as you want. And three, integrate. So you can integrate, and there's out-of-the-box integrations with many issue trackers, many other tools and authentication tools and development tools. So that's really powerful. So along with automation, scale, and integration, then to me that's true enterprise, and that's why you saw the customers that we had before. So this is the partner opportunity. If I was a partner and I was looking at my portfolio, I'd make sure that I had web application security as part of it. And the reason is every single organization needs it. Now, yes, security strategies need lots of different security technologies involved to provide a comprehensive, holistic coverage across everything they have. But part of that strategy must include web application security. It has to be. So every organization that you speak to, every organization that you drive past, they all need this. And that's a massive addressable market. On top of that, Invicti is the lead, we're the best at what we do. We do not do SAST, okay? Because we feel that SAST is sort of the legacy technology and there's better ways to do things. It's good in its own right, but modern application security isn't about SAST. It is about this true collaboration between DAST and IAST. Another leading thing is our products are both on-premise and SaaS-based. And we know how in this region on-premise is favoured, especially by governments, and you can see our government customer base, but it gives you as a partner flexibility to position on-premise where it's needed and SaaS for those that need it as well. We've already mentioned the customers. Imagine how easy it is to go into an organization in Saudi and say, hey, you know what? You don't need to trust what I'm saying, but the National Cybersecurity Authority uses this. So they validated it. It's good. That is really powerful. Coupled with that is the fact that we're Gartner, and again, we know how important that is. Last year, we were the top right-hand corner of the bottom left square, if you know what I mean. This year, after all the collaboration that we've done, we expect to be in the leaders quadrant. But even if we look at the peer insights, we're the leader in peer insights. Secondly, really important, we know how it works. This can be a relatively quick sales cycle. You can speak to someone and you can discuss their coverage and you can deliver a POC, which we'll get to on the next line, automatically and easily you will identify vulnerabilities. You'll be surprised how many customers come back in 2 days and go, wow, I didn't know how I had that many assets, and I didn't know I had that many vulnerabilities. That is a really, really powerful message, because what you've already discussed is pricing, you've shown them it works, and it doesn't have to be a 3-month POC. So you can get this done and dusted in 10 to 14 days. The whole sales cycle can be done in 1 or 2 months. And that's really, really important, because you can keep ticking these over. You can get revenues, you can get profit, you can get new customers relatively simple. So it's not a 6, 9, 12-month sales cycle. What does that mean? It means you can maximize the wallet share from your existing customers. Okay, so your customers will be buying this stuff, whether they're buying it from you or they're buying it from your competitors. So let's let them buy it from you and position this in front of them. It will also give you the avenue to break into new customers. So you might have prospects, you might have new targets, whether that's new verticals or whether that's new geographies, that you can use Invicti and DAST to land in those new customers and markets. It's a multi-year contract. It's a subscription base. So whether that is SaaS or whether that's on-premise, it is a subscription base, which means it's not just a one sell and forget about them. You are getting the renewals, you are getting the opportunities to do upsells every year, and that's powerful. And you can sell DAST into brand new customers without any application securities, or even those that are existing, for example, checkmark customers or other customers that are using SAST. You can go and deliver over and above that with Invicti. There's an MSSP opportunity, which is quite exciting and interesting for companies in this region. And if you want to speak to me separately on MSSP, there's an opportunity there. But outside of that, you've also got the full support. You saw the Invicti channel sales team that I posted earlier. Ali's part of that. So when we're doing POCs and demonstrations and you need our help in an enterprise customer, we're here to support you. Ali's more than welcome. Ali basically 4 or 5 times a day is doing end customer demonstrations, end customer POC kickoffs, and really getting some traction within the channel opportunities. On top of Invicti, you also have the full support from Bulwark. Bulwark have accredited technical people. They can offer implementation services, initial services. They're skilled and trained and knowledgeable on the technology and the sales benefits as well. And in collaboration with Bulwark, we do lead generation campaigns. But if you're one of our gold partners, we also do lead generation campaigns with you too directly. Okay, so what do we do from a partnership perspective? Well, there's some timelines, and this is where I say we can get you up and running relatively quickly. With the sales cycles are relatively short, you can be doing business in Q1 quite easily. There's some foundation information on our portal, which you'll need to sign to. Some easy technical certifications, get you up and running, and then we really hold your hand within the first few weeks. And following that, we go deeper dive into you in a technical perspective, and then really go and plan hitting the numbers. Whether you want to do $100,000 this year, whether you want to do $500,000 this year, whether you want to do $1 million this year, it's all in your hands and easily capable. So we have on this screen, you'll see 3 sections or 3 types of partner. We really only have 2 for the Middle East. We have our gold partners and we have our bronze partners. We have those that really, really want to take this forward and go for it, and they're looking at doing the $500,000 to $1 million. But there's also bronze partners that we have who are more opportunistic and maybe have a different model and see Invicti to sort of complement all the technologies they have. $100,000 to $200,000 a year is still there, but you have less expectations from us, so it's still valuable, and we're open to working on both levels of partnership. Again, the margins that are available are up to 35% margin, which is quite healthy, and obviously with the subscription model, if the renewals are on time, the initial discount are placed over the entire term of the contract. So again, it's not a case of 35% year one and then 5% year two. No, we don't work like that. So we also provide opportunities that come as leads through Invicti. So we obviously have our marketing department, and they're really, really good and powerful when you get to speak to them. And because of who we are and our customers and where we are in Gartner, we obviously have a lot of inquiries. So we need to farm these out. We are a 100% channel, so we need to farm these out to our partners. So where we do lead gen and farm that out, and we do co-sell, then we are looking at sort of relatively healthy margins. I will say to you, this is a global plan, but in this region, I don't do 5% because that's not worth it. So the minimum we will ever do for a partner is 10%, and that's even on lead pass-through or co-sell, depending on level. Now, one of the questions are the criteria, so thank you very much for that. So one of the reasons we don't have a silver, because it's a bit in the middle. So we will have our bronze partners who don't really have any targets to say, and we try not to say targets, but we're trying to say expectations. We look at and we manage our partners, and Rahul and Bulwark team will manage a whole host of partners that are opportunistic at the lower levels. However, we do work with our gold partners very, very closely. We have expectations of our gold partners of around this level. If you think an average order is in the region of $30,000 to $50,000, so about $40,000 on an annual basis. So we're looking, you're looking at about 8 to 10 deals a year, which isn't too much, especially with the addressable market that's possible. Our gold partners, there are expectations about sales, as you'd expect. There are expectations about technical people, and there are expectations about marketing plans as well. So we cater for both levels, and we're happy with both levels. It's up to you as a partner for you to understand your appetite and how we can support you getting to those 500,000, million numbers if that's your desire. So what's next? So of course, partner registration. We will send around the link. Get yourself registered. You can decide whether you want to be a reseller SI. You can decide whether you want to be an MSSP. You can decide whether you want to be both. So you can have both slices of the cake and eat them. So you will have customers who you will resell to, and you may have customers who you can provide managed security services to. So we can cater for both in the one partner. As mentioned, do the initial foundations, follow the training track, and then we'll sit down with you, and depending on which level of partnership you want, we'll sit down with you and we'll plan those revenues. So if you want to do 500,000, if you want to do $1 million, fine. Let's sit down and let's plan how we're going to get there. Let's plan the activities behind it. Let's plan which customers, which verticals, and how to approach them. Let's put marketing plans in place. Let's use the MDF that's available to you. Let's do that lead gen. Let's support you with your target accounts. Let us call with you on your target account, or bring us in at any stage. If you're a large partner and you've got a mix of enterprise and commercial, well, focus on the enterprise, but throw the list of commercial accounts to Invicti, and we'll call into them for you on your behalf and generate opportunities that way. So you're getting some run rate while you're focusing on the larger opportunities as well. So plan, and then speak to your customers. Everyone will be doing this. So they're either speaking to you or your competitors. And once you get a sniff, once you get an understanding that there's an opportunity out there, once you get a customer who's shown some interest, lock that opportunity. Deal registration is king. Okay? There's no point talking to a customer for 3 months and then you registering something and we're going, it's already been registered because someone has to direct a question and registered it a week ago. Right? Deal registration provides margin protection and it provides support protection. Okay, so what do I mean by support protection? So if you register a deal, we're there for you. We're there. Ali's there for you. The demos, the POCs, we are there for you. If another partner registers that opportunity, they can get pricing. We can't stop them getting pricing, but it won't be at the same level as yours. And if they ask for a POC and our support, we'll say no, because we're already working with the partner on this. So that's critical. So once you've got the deal reg, ask for the support. We're here. One of the reasons we do deal reg is not to sort of chase you up and update for updates all the time. It's really to say, well, you get this opportunity. How can we help you? How can we help it close it quicker? How can we help close it easier? How can we help close it bigger? And that's what we're here to do. And then we'll all do some selling and earn some money and get some new customers and get some incentives and keep the wife happy. Any questions? On that, by the way, we do have 10 days from now, and it is 10 days from now, yes, Rahul? 10 days from now, we have a very similar webinar, but it will be customer facing. Now, this is an ideal opportunity for you to speak to your customers, get a little bit of interest, and then throw them into this webinar where we will present to them why they need to do this. We will present to them why it needs to be Invicti. We will present to them why they need to buy Invicti from their partner. And so this is the initial lead generation, and we'll support you. Let us know which customers will be attending. We'll capture them on the sign-up sheets, and we will know that that customer is from you, Mr. Partner. So if there's any interest from that, we'll deal raise that straight away and allocate it to the relevant partner. So blast it, get this out there, let your customers know. Rahul will send them around the links, get them enrolled in this, and we can start getting you up and running. Imagine if we can turn around 1, 2, 3 deals before the end of February. That would be fantastic for everyone. And you can see the mileage, you can understand the messaging, you can take this to your wider community and your customers. So that's really, really powerful. So we've covered a little bit about SAST and DAST and IAST and why application security is important. We've covered the breaches, how much they cost, both financially and reputational wise. We've looked at how there are technologies out there to look at application security testing. We've looked at the different flavors. We've looked at why Invicti, okay, and our market-leading technologies is really the one. If you're going to look at any, then you can hang your coat on Invicti because it's the one that's going to take it forward for you. We've looked at the partner opportunity, both in terms of why it'd be great to have Invicti in your portfolio to allow you to have relevant conversations with your customers, and the wider opportunity in terms of the margin, in terms of the partner program, and also that we've got the next action of signing up, getting some base knowledge, and let's go and get some of these customers, turn them into lead generation on the webinar in 10 days time. Pretty much, thank you very much. I tried to rattle through to give plenty of time to ask questions, but also if any of you wanted to have a more technical discussion with Ali straight after this or continuing on from this, you're more than welcome to. Rahul, do we have any questions from the floor?
Yeah. So how is Invicti different from Fortify and AppSec?
Ali, do you want to take that one?
Hello, guys. So as the main difference between Invicti, between Acunetix, Netsparker on one side and Fortify or AppSec on the other side is, as Glyn mentioned during this session, the proof-based scanning technologies, which is a proprietary technology that we have. So we all know that it is time consuming by the developers, by the dev or the sec team, trying to reproduce and to replicate every single vulnerability or issue detected. So especially when it comes to false positives, because we know it is time consuming trying to reproduce. Let's say that you have a web asset that has, let's say, 20 vulnerabilities. So trying to reproduce the 20 vulnerabilities, it is time consuming. So this is the winning point or the winning card between Acunetix product, between Invicti solutions and products and other products. One other thing is the confidence and the certainty rate that Invicti products will provide the dev and the sec team or the technical team is that once you have something labeled as 100% confirmed vulnerability, means that this is no way it could be a false positive. The third thing is the valuable information Acunetix and Netsparker will provide and served on a silver platter for all the technical teams is the additional information such as the remediation suggestions, or for example external and online references about vulnerabilities, the proof of exploit, additional information of each vulnerability. So instead of the developer going online looking for these information, it is given to you in one bundle on one single page. The third thing is, I know other competitors or other solutions, they have out-of-the-box integration with a lot of CI/CDs, communication systems, maybe issue tracking system, but what our enterprise solution offers is much more. It's a longer list of out-of-the-box integration, and it is an ongoing also progress. Also, let's talk about the manual tools or the manual penetration testing tools. We all know that DAST solution, it is something that if you want to achieve automation and you want to achieve dynamic application security testing, but sometimes the technical team are in favor of having a solution that will have both the capabilities, dynamic application security testing, and also the option of let's say changing the response, the request sent, building your own request, getting more information, and getting some manual features and options that they can leverage in order to customize their own payloads, which is also offered by Netsparker standard, which is a DAST plus a manual application security testing tool. So these are the winning cards that you can use. Also the IAST component, which is also mentioned by Glyn, it's also something additional, and it's also something that is beneficial for all companies and partners. Now, what about checkmarks? This is also another question. Checkmarks is a SAST solution. This is static application security testing solution, which is a totally different league than DAST solutions or Acunetix and Netsparker. I hope that I've answered your questions.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie. Just on the one on checkmarks, actually. So we have partners that carry both checkmarks and Invicti, and they will use checkmarks for SAST, and they use Invicti for DAST and IAST. Where I wouldn't say it's early stages, but we're mid stages of actually doing a technical alliance with checkmarks, because when we work together, we cover the whole portfolio, and our DAST is far better than theirs, and our SCA. So we've got DAST, IAST, and SCA, which we're really strong at. And checkmarks is they have DAST, but they're really strong at SAST, and then they know their weaknesses and they know our strengths. So hot off the press, we're actually working on a technical alliance with them, and there may be some bundles that'll be coming out towards later in the year as an official collaboration. But in the meantime, we do have partners that use both checkmarks for where they're strong and Invicti for where they're strong within one customer.
Also, to mention something now, it came to my mind, is the out-of-band technology that we have, which is it's either AccuMonitor or Hawk. So thanks to this technology that we use to detect Log4j vulnerability that was revealed recently. So this is also a winning card because it will give you more coverage in terms of vulnerabilities and a larger list of vulnerabilities and scan checks. Yep.
But what we do have as part of within the partner portal, we have quite a comprehensive sort of battle card system. We have 2 levels of battle cards, and if we all know what battle card is, hopefully, we have 2 levels of battle cards. One is internally, where it really goes into the differences between Invicti, for example, and Rapid7 or checkmarks, etc. And then we have externally facing ones. So So less harsh, a little bit more friendly, that you can actually send to your customers. So when the customer goes, well, I'm using this or I'm looking at this, you can actually send the external battle cards out or comparisons out as well. Do we have any references in the UAE? Yes, we have quite a few references in the UAE. So we have the MOI, we have the central bank, we have DOA, we have Dubai Municipality, we have not the President's Office, Prime Minister's Office, we have FAB, Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, we have Abu Dhabi Tourist and Cultural Authority, we have Abu Dhabi Media, Digital 14, and Etisalat, and a number of others as well.
Glyn, one partner have asked, I created the partner login, but while trying to log in, getting the message as your account has been deactivated.
Okay, if we'll take that offline. If you can send me the details of the partner, if they're an existing partner or they're just trying for the first time, let me know and I'll have a look at the back end and sort that out.
Sure, Glyn. Sure.
Yeah. So we've looked at the opportunity. We've looked at any government entities in Abu Dhabi. Yes, the MOI, and as I mentioned, the Abu Dhabi Culture and Tourism Authority, ADCTA, if I've got that the right way around. Yes, we do. Yes, we will have a battle card. I believe we've got a battle card against Fortify. Yes, we do. But again, once you have access to the partner portal, you'll be able to see all the resources that are available to our partners. And if there's anything specific that you require in terms of a side session, specifically on competition and how we differentiate, we're more than happy to do that as part of our enablement plan. One of the things I didn't mention on the customer seminar, there will be a sort of quiz as an incentive for your customers to attend. So there'll be a quiz at the end where they can win, I believe it's an Apple Watch and some Amazon vouchers, $200 of Amazon vouchers, $100 of Amazon vouchers. So what we'll be doing is making it a little bit more interactive, engaging with the customers at the end, give them a little pop quiz, and then we'll randomly select three of the attendees to have a nice little prize. That's something that we can get along to them just as an additional incentive to support you getting your customers to this webinar on the 27th. Yeah. So following this, what we'll do is we'll send out the recording of this webinar. If any of you want to, again, reach out via Rahul or directly to set up some additional sessions, we can do that. We've got a whole host of resources available that are already pre-recorded and we can take fresh. I look forward to those that are partners already to seeing the plans in place and those deal registrations. But for people who want to become a partner, I'll be the one that'll be looking over your partner application. So I hope to see a host of them coming through in the next few days as well. Rahul.
Yeah. So that's it. Thanks, Glyn, for the wonderful session. Thanks also, Ali. Thank you for all who has joined in. If you have any questions, you can write to me or you can write directly to Glyn as well. Thank you so much all. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.